13.
Chris Williams, Chris Williams. On February 9th, 2007, my family was hit by a drunk teenage driver, and killed in that accident was my wife, Michelle, who was expecting our 5th child, and then my 2nd oldest son, Benjamin, and my only daughter, Anna. It was a Friday night like any other in our family. It was full of fun. We'd gone out to dinner as a family, and my oldest son was off with friends. I saw a pair of headlights coming at me at incredibly fast rate of speed, so as I tried to do some maneuvers to get out of the way, it was too late. We were hit broadside or T-boned. As I surveyed the scene and saw my wife, I saw her chest go down and her last breath leave her body, and I wanted to cry out for her to come back.
You have a teenager out past midnight, you don't like to receive a call. I got up and took the phone, and on the other end of the line, a man identified himself as being from the Salt Lake City Police Department. Told us that he had our son Cameron, told us that Cameron was intoxicated, that he'd been in an accident, but he was okay. Then he told us as a result of the accident that 3 people had been killed.
We found out that Sam was the child who had survived. So we went up to the University Hospital where Chris's family were there. Even at that moment, we're all blubbering and crying, and Chris is laying on the gurney in a neck brace. And one of the first things he asks is, how is the young man who was driving the other car?
About a year ago, Chris and Cameron met for the first time and talked.
The first time that I met him, I was in a room and he walked in and he had a big smile on his face. And I had no smile because I'm facing the man, that I had done this to. He wants me to let go of what had happened. He wants me to pick a date and forget what had happened, just move on from what had happened completely. There's no way to explain it. It's an overwhelming feeling of thankfulness, of gratefulness, of strength to see him and to see how he's acted in this situation.
After we went to the funeral, one of our neighbors that was at the funeral came up to us and said, "Have you read the article about Chris?" And it was his article about forgiveness. My feeling was that I was just completely overcome with, it was like being washed out, the despair was being washed out from my soul. And knowing that somebody like that could so freely forgive, it was freeing to me to know that he could respond in that fashion.
It's become more significant to me, the fact that he had forgiven me. And I know that's because he knows and he has a testimony and a relationship with Jesus Christ.
Coming to know a man of sorrow and one who is acquainted with grief, as I've now come to understand, it is really why I was sent here. And it has been incredibly difficult to have to learn those lessons in the way that I've learned them. But I've always ended those episodes of grief with an assurance and a hope that one day, perhaps I will see him as he is. One day, hopefully, I will be like him. And one day, I will be with my wife again, as well as the rest of my family. And that's what keeps me moving.